Pretty big day for Dante Jackson, huh?
It was a good day for him. It's good to see young guys taking advantage of the opportunities right now. He had a good practice. A lot of guys had good practice today, and a lot of the young guys are getting opportunities. As we get later and later in the camp, we're starting to see guys step up. Is really what you look for, especially with the young players, is that who's going to step up, and especially this time, this is our sixth practice. We've had 7 installations. It's an opportunity for us to see where they are and see how their retention is.
Kevon Seymour says whenever he's not on the field, he's taking mental reps and watching
Absolutely.
everything that Dante and the rest of the secondary does and asking coaches questions as well. Do you notice that from him, and what's he like coming back into the system again?
Well, you see, here's a guy that's got, pretty much a year under his belt, and you do see the improvement already. I mean, I'm very pleased that we got a real good battle in terms of, who the starters are going to be. Got a real good battle in terms of who's going to get playing time. So, just want to continue to see these guys compete, and we'll really start making decisions as we start getting into the preseason games to see who's stepping up and who's playing well.
Sometimes the secondary opposite James might rotate because of the different matchups you guys will see.
Yes.
Where are Kevon's gifts versus Dante's gifts? Not to say one is better than the other.
Well, I mean, the obvious being obviously the size and strength. There's a little bit difference in terms of play strength. They're both fast. Both got good inline speed. As I said, you see Kevon stronger at the point, but you see Dante with the quickness and speed. So it will be about matchups. It will be about who's going to cover who, and what the best matchup would be for us in certain situations, especially in game situations.
How do you think Curtis looked today? Curtis Samuel.
I thought Curtis did a couple of good things. It's funny. At first I was looking, and all of a sudden, all right, so I'm moving around. And it's one of those things where you don't want to get ahead of yourself because he's just trying to feel his way back out there. But as he starts to progress and gets better and better and stronger out there, then we'll really be able to assess where he is.
Ron, I don't think we got a chance the other day to ask you what happened to Jason Damon when he was out today.
JC had a shoulder, a little bit of a twinge there, so we wanted to be careful with it and make sure it's all right. Should be back in time for tomorrow's practice, I hope. But again, I don't want to give a time frame because it's all about how it feels.
What are you seeing from Deshaun Hall year 1 versus year 2?
The biggest thing is a little more consistency. That's one of the things that you're always trying to look for. But you also see him using his hands a little bit better. A lot of times these young guys get in and they think they just go out and try and bull rush everybody and just drop their heads and go. And we're trying to get these guys out of that, try to get them to attack the edges, and and make plays using athleticism as opposed to just brute force. I mean, they have. He has a pretty good skill set. He's got long arms. He is explosive off the ball, and you start to see that. Trying to get a lot of Kiwi time. Is that what this is for?
I got a question.
We're waiting on it.
How confident are you with losing the 2 key guys you lost on the offensive line of cam protection that will get him in the high 60th percentile of his completion percentage?
Well, I think a big part of it is the guys that we brought, in terms of backups the last couple of years are guys that have to step up. That's probably the biggest thing. Amini right now is having a good camp, and let's don't forget Amini started for us, been a good starter for us. Just that when he got hurt and Andrew Norwell got his opportunity, and Andrew kept the spot. But seeing what Amini's been doing, pretty pleased with that. As far as the right tackle position is concerned, Daryl's a big loss, but that's why we drafted Taylor Moten.
Right.
We think Taylor can step up and be a kind of a guy that can help us. He's done a nice job so far, but we really won't know until we start playing games.
Ron, you guys have had a couple injuries, and teams have them in training camp. What can you do as a coach is there anything you can do as a coach to try and limit that? I know some of them are just freak things, but
not practice. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. If you go out and you look at what happened and see what happened, the truth is there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, that was a little bit of a freak one for Ross. I mean, the receiver was falling to the ground. He just happened to step into it and got rolled up, and Daryl was kick sliding and turned his ankle and came down on it. That's what happened.
Just try to remind him though, just be smart too.
Most certainly. Well, that was one of the things, and we talked about that before we practiced today, about being smart because of the turf. And I told the DBs and the linebackers, hey, let's be smart about the receivers crossing because we don't want to catch anybody in a bad spot.
Ron, what have you seen from Deshaun Hall? He looks a bit stronger, more.
Well, and the things that we've seen from Deshaun, some really good things. We've seen some good quickness, some explosiveness, and better hand use, which is probably the biggest thing he needs to do is improve that. And he looks stronger. He really does. He looks a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier than he was last season. So, again, it might be some good things from him.
From afar, what was it like to see him through that rookie year? He played 9 snaps and then he's out for the rest of the year. Was it
And
hard
that was
on him?
tough. It was hard on us because we got a young guy we feel has some skill sets that we like, and hopefully he can be productive and produce. We really won't be able to tell until we see him on the field in the preseason.
Have you talked about Demir Bird recently?
Not recently,
Okay.
but real excited about what Demir's done. He's a young man from a few years ago that was young and really didn't know how to do things. And you watch him now, and you can tell he's learned to refine his game. He's a pro. Comes to work every day, does his job, focusing on what he needs to get better at. Doesn't matter whether he's getting reps with the 1s, the 2s, or the 3s. He's out there giving his all. And I will say this: every day he's made a play.
Ron, Rashawn Golden not out there today. Does he have something they just want to be careful with?
Yeah, he's got a sore leg, so we want to just be careful. Don't want to get him out there and expose him and get him hurt.
I want to ask you a little bit about Matt Khalil, who talked to us a little bit before. How beneficial for him is it to go up against Mario day after day with the level that Mario is kind of performing at?
Absolutely. I think first of all, Matt's healthy this year. Last year he was coming off the labral hip repair. So he really didn't have the type of offseason to train that you need to have to play left tackle in this league. He's had a good offseason. He was able to train this year. So pretty excited about that. I thought he's come in good shape. And then he's competing against probably one of the better right defensive ends in the league. I mean, Mario's explosive, got good quickness, and I think that's good for Matt. I mean, he works against it every day, and he's got a better feel for what we're doing. He's a little bit more comfortable in the system. Again, I expect him to improve and be better for us this year.
Early last year, was it speed rush that was giving him problems, or a little bit of everything?
I think a little bit of everything. Again, as I said, the biggest thing everybody tend to forget was that Matt was coming off a labral repair from his hip. And so now you watch him and you see the confidence and the strength and quickness is back. So, he's just going to continue to improve and get better for us. No, he's not. Well, you know what? And if you asked in the family too, I think either his sister or his brother might be a little more famous too, because they're older.
But to that point, I mean, he for a guy that's been in the league and was a high draft pick, he somehow has been a little bit under the radar.
Well, again, Joe, as I said, I think what happened was he got hurt, at a point in his career where the year before he had a great year. And people took notice of him, and then he gets hurt and misses the rest of the year. It comes to us, and he's got to work his way back into shape. And I think a big part of that, is sometimes unseen, forgotten. And when you don't see a guy constantly, you do tend to forget about him.
I apologize if you've addressed this, but Golden injured.
Yeah, he got a little thigh bruise, so we wanted to be smart. He's a little stiff and sore in the morning, so we just kind of want to be smart and take care of him.
A couple days, or
yeah, we'll see how it is, and hopefully he'll feel better.
Ron, Kevon told me that the defensive backs got together and decided to dedicate this season to Ross Cockrell. What does that mean to you?
Well, what's interesting is Ross was one of those guys that fit. I mean, from the day he got here to now, and still now, he's a guy that has the kind of ability that you want on the football field. But more important, he's the kind of guy you want in the locker room. And I think that's a big reason why those guys got together and talked about trying to dedicate this to Ross, because he is a solid person, and I think that's one of the more important things is, what kind of guy is he? He's a good guy.
You mentioned Torrey Smith the other day about the leadership he's brought to that room. You saw him with a nice catch down there. What did you see specifically out of him that's really good?
He's a very conscientious person. He really is. Little details, little things are, he pays attention to. He comes out early and does the little things as well. I forget which one of you guys commented about how he and Christian are usually one of the first two out here. Because he understands, he knows how to get it done. What I'm hoping is some of those young guys see that, and they can learn from his experience. And I think it's important that they try to emulate guys that have had success in this league, because that's how you can have success in this league.
How important was it though to get that veteran type presence in here with a young room like that?
I think it's very important. I really do. And quite honestly, I think it's taken a lot of pressure off of Funchess. Devin's kind of felt like he's had to try to step up the last 2 years, last year and this year. And I think now, realizing he's got some veteran guys in there with him, I think he's relaxing more and he's starting to really practice the way I think he's capable of, and he can become the player we believe he can be.